and welcome to Let's Talk Tuesdays with Carrie, Jemii. So today is a little different. I'm not going to have a guest. It's just going to be me and you. So I dress real down and casual for you guys so I could be relatable. Plus, being that I'm talking about self-help today, I thought it was appropriate to wear my Nike shirt so you guys can know to, just do it, right? So today, let's go back. I started this platform, right, because I wanted to do live life coaching, right? And so part of that was being able to give people the tools and things that they needed to better their lives. I felt like my purpose in life, which we all have different purposes, was to help people. So I navigated through that a lot through nursing school to where I'm at today, right? So self-help is so important. I think that we forget how important of a tool it is because we don't think to take care of ourselves in different ways. And we don't understand the correlation also between self-help when it comes to life coaches, business coaches, and even therapy. If you need to go that far into it, right? But therapy is awesome, right? But all of them kind of marry each other and it's like a perfect blend. So today, what I want to do is go over some tools via some books that I know are very great books and some authors who wrote these books. Some of them might be a few throwbacks from some episodes that we've had previously, but there are some great books with great tools and nuggets and ideologies in them to help you with your life, right? I think that if we all can agree, social media is where we go for entertainment, right? And how many times have you been strolling up your timeline or on Instagram and you see one person have a happy post, the next person got a sad post, or the same person last week was all on 10, sitting in the island, and next week they talking about something different. And that's because in life, we transition a lot. It's a sermon that T.D. Jakes, he has out there called Same Boat. And that message rung so well in my heart because he talked about no one promised you that you're going to have always good days. Every single one of us on our journey to wherever we're trying to go, have to go through many doors. And some of those doors may lead to the bag, may lead to some chocolate cake. But sometimes when you open that door that you got to go through, it may be a bag of coal. So what do you do? How do you adjust? Me personally, anyone know me, I'm always adjusting because I'm an emotional person and I'm very self-aware. So that's why self-help is important to me. And why I even started I'm Pretty Too was why it's based on so many self-principles, because I believe in building yourself up because no one else is going to do it. So that's why self-help is also important, because it's something you have to do. Even if you go to life coaching, even if you go to therapy sessions, they're going to give you homework and assignments that you yourself personally have to do in order to better yourself. Because no matter how much people could talk your ears off, like I'm talking now, you will have to do some of the work yourself in order to get yourself in a better place. So I have a few books here I'm going to start with, and I'm going to read something out of the book and talk a little bit on it. If you have a question about something I read or a comment, feel free to say something, and I'll put your comment on the podcast, and we can talk about it. So, all right. So the first book that I'm going to highlight something out of is I Never Worry. I had this guest on my show. His name is Derek DB. And here's his picture right here. So you guys probably remember him. And we talked about emotional intelligence. And the reason I want to start with this book is because I want to prepare the mentality that you may have right now of what I'm about to do. So I want you to receive this and understand what I'm trying to do today as far as giving you these tips. So what I'm going to do is pull from his chapter 2 called Mind Your Business. And he's not talking about being nosy per se, but basically minding the business of your own life. And also, he says, being honest with ourselves is probably probably the one thing we lie about most, and that's being authentically to yourself, right? So, why I want you to focus on emotional intelligence, and again, you can purchase these books on Amazon, is because if you don't have a healthy state of mind, and a healthy emotional intelligence, it's no way that you could, have a healthy mental state. And we all need to have healthy mental states in order to navigate through our life. If you don't know how to navigate through situations and you're always overly emotional, overly angry all the time, overly sad, that's not really healthy. So finding that balance is, you can do that by reading books of like I Never Worry, and practice emotional intelligence. In here, he talks about how your personality types play a in in how your outlook is on life and how we can get frustrated. But one thing I wanted to read is that he says, it's quite impossible. It's also quite possible when you start your day, you're in a good mood, right? And in a matter of seconds, a jerk cuts you off on the freeway. Or maybe you leave home without your cell phone and you have to turn around and go get it. We've all had that. You running late for work already. So you know you getting frustrated, getting upset. And then there's no way, he says, to stop these things from happening to you and around you. However, it's the way you prepare and respond to these events that occur. So all of us can admit that sometimes, no matter what's going on around you, you may not react to those situations properly. I think we all put ourselves on these pedestals of not being able to be vulnerable to our situations. So we feel like we got to be a certain way, or we are too vulnerable to our situations and it derails our whole day. So having emotional intelligence, depending on what circumstance you're facing, will help you have a more productive day. And as I go through some of these other books, you will see how important mentality is and how important your mind is in having a more successful day in life in general, right? Again, you're going to go through stuff, but it's how you, as he just said, approach those situations that will be key for you. All right. So next book, I'm not going to go long for you guys. So you stick with me, you get some good nuggets. Next book is called The 40-Day Soul Fast, right? Your Journey to Authentic Living. So this book was suggested to me from a young lady who felt the book was amazing. And she hasn't told a story. So it's basically teaching you how to get your soul together and doing it through a 40-day fast, right? So you can fast from food, but this is doing it through scripture, right? So what I want to pull out from her book is I believe this is chapter 11, called Becoming. And it talks about discipline. So as we know, in order to basically navigate through our life, you have to have some type of discipline. If you don't have discipline in your life, then you long as well just sit down. and I'm saying that in a funny but a serious way, because discipline comes in everything. Whether you're married, you have to have discipline not to want to cheat and not to, to be faithful or to take care of your household. If you got a job, you have to be disciplined at your job to do your job, what you're getting paid for. Because many times you could just sit there on the clock. So discipline is important, and it's an important tool and skill to learn as an individual in life. Because if you are more disciplined as a person, you'll probably be more productive in your day. Discipline plays out in even physical health, right? So sometimes, like for me, I lack discipline when it comes to that. I'll be like, you know what? I should be eating this salad, but I want a slice of pizza. I should be eating this, but I want some Harold's. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. So discipline, though, will prevent you from getting to the goals that you need to achieve, right? She said something in here that I wanted to read. And she said, the main purpose of life. No, that wasn't it. So I can't find out where I put my little star at, but I think I talked enough about why it's important to achieve discipline. Discipline is the best way to get you to what your purpose is in life. And that's emphasized a lot in the Bible for those who read the Bible. God brings up discipline a lot for your journey. So, okay. All right. So the next book, it says a woman can do that, but this can also be for men. And it's called 10 Strategies to Creating Success in Your Life, right? So from this particular book, where I pulled out something was for chapter 7 and 8. So chapter 7 is called remain positive no matter what, opening doors with a winning attitude. So it's basically saying that positivity brings things to your life, and that's true. You can manifest so many things in your life by the way that you think. If you continue to think sad, if you continue to think I'm not going to get what I want in life, if this is going to happen, then that's exactly what's going to happen to you. And I'm gonna tell you that because even if you are able to acquire wealth, because a lot of us wake up every day, that's our whole goal, to get the bag, whether that's entrepreneurship, whether that's hustling, whether that's going to your job that you worked all your life to get. But money is not going to secure you happiness in no form and no fashion. So you have to be able to find inner things inside of you, which your attitude and your perspective, in order to stay in a healthy space. Okay. Because I had money and I had things that's accessible to me, but trust me, I still struggle with inner demons. I still have struggle with relationships. So me having money did not equate to me being happy. So that's why I'm going over these things today, because self-help helps you to enjoy every aspect of your life. Because just because you get the money, I'm telling you, that can't be your only goal in life. It doesn't mean that you're going to be happy when you get there. And I think also, Reverend Ron's brother, I forget his name. He had that record deal company or whatever. But he said he knew 10 billionaires, and out of the 10 billionaires, only one of them was really happy, because money doesn't equate to that. So one thing I want to bring out is that she said, remain positive no matter what, right? Your attitude, thoughts, direct energy. Positive thoughts create positive energy and results, and negative thoughts create negative energy and results. If you expect the best, you are more likely to achieve it. So that's just, I don't have to go, I have to elaborate. Positive thoughts brings positive things in your life. So it was one other chapter in here in this same book that she had that I liked, and that was chapter 8. And she talked about live your life with integrity and focusing on what's important. A simple way of saying integrity is doing the right thing when nobody is watching. Having a moral character when no one's around you. And I will tell you right now, I have not been perfect. I haven't been a perfect person, but I can tell you that having integrity has opened up tremendous doors for me and those that I know that have integrity. Because just because you don't think that it matters, if you also believe in God as well, He sees everything. So whether you think you hiding something or not, you're not. And if you don't believe in God, but you believe in the universe, because we're all made of particles. It's just like karma. Whatever you put out there, whether it's behind doors or in front of people, it's going to find its way back to you. So another way to work on yourself and be a better person is to have great integrity about who you are. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Focusing on what's important. I did highlight 2 things in here that I was going to read, and it says, to be successful, you need to be proud to look at yourself in the mirror. When you think about how you conduct yourself and how you work with other people, you have to be able to say, I am very proud of what I've done here. I am proud of my passion, so I rank highly. If you can't get personal integrity, what are you doing? Right? Another one she said is, you need to be who you are, to be honest, to feel good about yourself, and to be true to yourself. At the end of the day, personal integrity will carry you the whole way. Another one was, the best part of personal integrity is doing your best. Is being, and again, she marks out being honest. How many of you are honest? Like, just being honest. Part of that is being true to your values. People will not remember, you heard this before, what you did or what you said, but they'll always remember how they felt when they were around you. So treating people is a major part of having great integrity too. All right. So that's this book. The next book is one of my favorites. It's another woman on the cover, but it's okay. It's called Becoming Superwoman, right? A simple 12-step plan from burnout to balance, right? So the 2 things I want to highlight in this book is her chapter 5. And I'm not going to curse for the sake of, I don't want to call people out their names, but she called this book Boundaries. You see the word, but I'm going to call it Boundaries, Babe, for the sake of conversation. So, basically she's talking about how to set boundaries and just knowing how to say no. I mean, I think more than men, women, we deal a lot with boundaries and having people in your personal space. She referenced the analogy. I know many of us seen the movie Dirty Dancing, right? When Baby was trying to learn how to dance, he kept telling her, give me my space, right? And so she was saying that you can't get your position correctly if you always in somebody else's position, in somebody else's space. So you need space for that you can do what you need to do at your at best, right? So also she said that boundaries are limits that you define for your own personal space. Now, this chapter was so key to me because for me in my life, I struggle still with boundaries and not letting people get too close into my space, you know, and allowing myself to do what I need to do, whether it's work related or friends related, relationship related, but knowing to say, you know what, I gotta go. I can't talk to you right now. I can't be on the phone all day. I can't do this. I can't go to every event you invite me to. I'm sorry. I have things I have to do, and I feel bad about it. Or people asking you stuff all the time and you always being that yes person. You cannot be the yes person every time. Sometimes you just got to be okay with just saying no. It says, she also says, she gives some examples of some boundaries, right? How to create boundaries for yourself. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to read this for you, but she gives you in the book some ways to outline that, right? So others cannot is one of the questions. I have the right to ask for and to value myself and my time I can. So I'm gonna give you an example of what she did to answer those questions. So if you need a book like this, it's perfect. Like, I love this book for real. So she said, others cannot. Example, others cannot scream at me, get physical towards me, tell me racist jokes, put me down, try to embarrass me in front of others, make comments about my size, or go through my email or text without asking. That's her boundaries. You cannot do that. All right. And then she said, I have the right to ask for. Her example was, I have the right to ask for another dish when mine is prepared incorrectly. Oh my God. That is so me at restaurants where sometimes I don't be wanting to ask them to redo my food. Not only because I'll be like, they're going to do something to my food in the kitchen, but I just don't be wanting to inconvenience people. And I don't want to be that person at the table that's like, oh my God. So you sit there in silence eating something that you really don't want. How many times have people done that? Or you go to Starbucks or somewhere and it's just not right and you don't say anything. So that's a part of not setting boundaries for yourself. You deserve to have the best of whatever you do. Even at the nail shop, you know, especially when a lot of stuff was happening, I was scared to say, ooh, I really don't like how he did my nail, and don't say nothing and go home all mad. But I had the opportunity right then to speak up, but didn't want them to judge me or stereotype me as, oh, here goes this Black woman having something to say. But, you know, you have to set boundaries for yourself. Okay. The other thing is, she said, or silence in an Uber. She said, you know, I have the right to ask for silence in an Uber. Quiet time during a facial or massage, customer service, asking for the supervisor. I have the right to ask for that. Then she said, to value my time. She said, examples of that, you can value your time by saying canceling your plans when you are sick, returning a text and emails on your own timeline. How many times do people feel like when they text you, you supposed to text them right away? You ain't texting me, why you texting me right back? And sometimes if it's an emergency, yes, I can understand that. But every time somebody texts you, just because we in this era doesn't mean they have to text you right back. And I'm talking to myself. I know I'm talking to myself. Go on a trip. She said, go on a trip without inviting or telling a friend, right? So people feel guilty when they don't invite people, you know, with them, or they want to do something with just this friend. Sometimes I felt that way too when I was in Chicago, and I'm like, dang, I just wanted to hang out with such and such. I really didn't want 5 or 6 other friends to hang out. And that's okay. It's okay. It's okay that you just want to hang out with that one girl. Everybody have a different relationship. So you should be okay. That's another way of setting boundaries with yourself. I will repeat all the books at the end, Eric. Thank you. And I was going to say that. Another thing she said, she does another example, but I'm not going to go through it, about how to draw the line, right? Draw your line with even at work. Okay. One thing else she highlights that I think is important when it comes to self-help is creating a routine. It's from chapter 7 called Hacking Productivity. And she talks about creating a routine, right? So she even outlines one for you on how you should outline your day. And I can't tell you enough, just as an entrepreneur too, and just being a real structured person, having a routine helps alleviate so much stress and anxiety. Because sometimes you feel like the whole day went by, what did I accomplish? But if you follow the routine and you allocated time to each thing of your day, you kind of feel more productive at the end of the day. You can have more of a peaceful sleep. Because if you like me and you got 1,000 things going on, by the time you go down, lay down, you can't really recall, like, dang, did I get everything accomplished today? So if you had a routine, it would say, okay, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, make sure I pay my bills. 7 o'clock to 10, I'm gonna binge watch some TV, some Snowfall or whatever you like to watch, right? So having that schedule sometimes can help you have a more productive day and using those 13 or 14 hours a day in a more efficient way. Okay. The next book is called, I took the cover off because it kept messing up, Best Self. And it's also written by a life coach. His name is Mike Bayer. And what I took from his book to share with you guys today was chapter 1, actually, Discovering Your Best Self. And because we're all on a journey, right, to become our best self. For me, I think everybody, my personal opinion, you should work on this every day. Every day, you should be trying to be your best self. And I'm going to talk about how other people can be in your life, can prevent that. One of these books is going to talk about having people in your circle. It might be this one. But anyway, it talks about, this is it. Look at that. This chapter talks about who you got around you. So many times when you're working on your personal self and wanting to be on your a better version of yourself, you have to share people around you that don't share that same vision. It's people that's going to always try to keep you in a box. Like, oh, that's just her. Oh, that's just him. And sometimes you're trying to be out of that just person, right? That's not the characteristics you want to be associated with anymore. So if people are steady saying that's just who you are and you're trying to be a better person, that ain't the right person to be around you while you're trying to shift into a better version of yourself. This part says, he has a model that he projects. He said, the model that helps you evaluate yourself and people in your life is truly called SPEARS, and it's an acronym. And the SPEARS stands for S for social life, P for personal life, H for health, E for education, R for relationships, E for employment, and S for spiritual development, because spiritual development is also important. And because I also believe the team of people you choose to have in your life is very important, we will take a realistic, objective look at those folks around you. We'll determine who you need more of, right? Because some people, you need more time with them. You don't spend enough time with the people that really build you up, really are your real day ones, right? He's gonna tell you how to spend more time with people you need more time with and who to dial back from. Your inner circle can make or break you. So it is a key step in the process, right? So, thank you. Jay said she loved that. Right. So he talks about that. And that is so key. Like, this book is also amazing. I can't lie. But having the right people around you as you try to be anything in life is so key, because they are your pillars. So if you got people under you that's shaky, just like a foundation, then you're going to be shaky. And it goes to the cliche too. Also, birds of a feather flock together. Or, well, I was watching this, how on YouTube, or not into YouTube, Instagram, they have wheels on there. it was one on there of these Black men called the CEO Circle. And they were talking about how they vibe off each other and how, they had to leave people behind. He says, and one guy said, I might send a safety raft back to get some people, but sometimes everybody can't go along with you, because if you got negative energy or people who ain't trying to do what you're trying to do, all they're gonna do is stagnate your journey. And unfortunately, I deal with this too, because I love people, but you have to sometimes play duck, duck, goose. Like, hey, you gotta go because your energy is draining me, or you're not trying to reach that next level. So if you, like they say, if you are the only person in your circle that's progressive, then you need a new circle, because everybody needs to be progressive in order for you to reach higher heights in yourself, and also being around people who help bring the best out of you. Like I had to learn that really quickly. So with that said, once you realize that, and if you purchase that particular book and you realize you got to dial back some people, you're gonna need to have some crucial conversations, right? When I got this book, it was at my job, and it was teaching us how to be negotiators and how to get things done. I was a project manager, and I had to have a lot of crucial conversations with people that was uncomfortable. How I look 25 years old coming to tell somebody else 2 times my age, hey, you ain't do what you're supposed to do, or I feel like you're not doing it to the standard it should be done. So you have to learn those critical conversations and how to navigate that. But I want to relate this today to to personal conversations. And one point to bring out is in chapter 10, called Yeah, But Advice for Tough Cases, right? And so the one scenario he gave was the danger point. And he talked about when you say something awful to somebody. So I brought this up because many times also, either you're going to have to tell somebody that, hey, I need some space, I need you out of my life. Or, as I was saying, you may have hurt somebody that you really do need in your life, right? So how do you have that conversation? How do you repair that relationship with someone that you have damaged? That's going to be a critical conversation, because now you have to go in it with what I talked about first, emotional intelligence, and now some type of strategy. So this book is amazing for anybody trying to develop in their career and personal relationships with different people. He said, the danger point, when people do things that bother us and we tell ourselves a story about how bad they were and how wrong they were, we're setting ourselves up for unhealthy conversations, he said. Of course, when we tell ourselves the ugly part of the story and sit on it, it only gets worse. It festers, right? He said, stories left unattended don't get better. They ferment, which is what I said, fester. And then we eventually can't take it anymore, and we say something we regret. So he's basically saying also in critical conversations that when something's happened that you're uncomfortable with, this is part of self-help. Say something. I know my friends, they get on me all the time, like, Carrie, I'm so emotional aware. I don't hold nothing in. I ain't about to have you have me have no stroke. I need to make it, right? I'm trying to be on Forbes magazine, right? So I need for people to understand I've been hurt. You hurt my feelings. And be okay with having that conversation. Or I didn't like how you said. Like, he gave an example that was so funny. He said that the way you told, the way you just told me that the other neighbor thinks that I'm a real idiot has worried me. You smiled and laughed when you said it. I'm beginning to wonder if you take pleasure in running to me with negative feedback. What's going on? So, like I said, sometimes when people are saying things that you're not uncomfortable with, that you are uncomfortable with, you have to address it right away. A lot of people don't do it, or they go to social media and say little small quotes or Twitter. No, you need to go to the person and handle that, because that can be a detriment to you that you're holding on to, whatever it is. So being okay with crucial conversations is a great tool to have to alleviate you. I mean, for me, I believe in achieving freedom from everything. I don't need extra emotions and extra drama in my life. So if it ain't right, I'm getting rid of it, period. The next book is an author I had on my show. It's called Pretty for a Dark Skinned Girl, right? Hello, because I'm dark skinned, but I love this book. And one thing she said in here in her one of her chapters was be you. And she said, remember that your sister, but I want to say this to all people, your sister or your brother or any person for that matter, is not your competition. Each one of us must support each other and make unity in our mission. So I brought this out because as a self-help thing and with social media and I keep saying social media because that's our entertainment, okay? A lot of people watch Netflix and Hulu at night, but most of the time, everybody's strolling. I swear, our fingers should be like this all day because everybody doing the same thing. Oh, but my point is, you can get really caught up in looking at what other people is doing all the time. Don't get caught up because people only show you, again, you heard this before, but I'm gonna say it again so you can hear it again. People gonna show you what they want you to see. If they want you to see a happy marriage, they're gonna show you a happy marriage picture. If they want you to see that they kicking it all the time, they're gonna show you all they kicking the pictures. They ain't gonna show you when they're at home feeling some type of way about their life or that they're not where they want to be the same way you feel, right? But if you call Carrie, I'm a person that's very transparent, and I will have that conversation with you and say, you know what, I felt that same way last week. Like every day ain't gonna be peachy, but the thing that I want to bring home again, if I won't lose this point, is you want to be yourself and not compete with others. I never like competitive things. I never even hung around competitive friends because I ain't competing with you. I ain't checking for you. You know what I'm saying? People think you checking for them, but I may respect what you're doing. I may love what you're doing. And I'm the kind of person, if you really know my heart, I'm going to tell you, hey, you're doing dope. I love what you're doing. I support you. What do you need me to do? You want me to buy something? I'm gonna buy it. Most of the time, anybody that know me that send me something say, Carrie, can you support me? And I'm down with them like that. I will support them. But I'm not gonna compete with everybody. You know, I think we too much on that. Like, be happy for the next sis and be happy for the next bro. Like, what can I do to help you bring forth your vision or whatnot? Okay. So that is that book. The next book is my own book. I'm Pretty Too workbook, right? Again, this may seem like for a woman, but the point that I want to bring out is for everybody, right? And it's coming from my chapter called A Pretty Conqueror, right? Because I've named every chapter Pretty something, but I want women and young girls who read this book and purchased this book to be conquerors. And I want you viewers today to be conquerors of your own things, right? So in this chapter, I talk about from this day forward, take control of your thoughts and how you perceive yourself. You are a game changer. The world is waiting on you, on your strengths, your unique talents, and things that only you can do. So that's going back to what I just said, that you don't have to compete with nobody because the gifts that God gave you, nobody else can do. The same thing, you know, I get this question from entrepreneurs. They worried about somebody else coming out with their vision or somebody else doing their idea. Nobody can do nothing the way you do it because God purposely gave you your own desire, your own thoughts. And I don't care if it's the same business. We got how many candle businesses now, how many body care creams and whatever. But people have what they like and they're going to purchase what they like. So it's enough money for everybody and it's enough money or success for you in what God has put in your life. So that's why you don't have to compete, because only you can do certain things, period. And I said, it's time to make all your dreams come true, to fulfill whatever desires you have in your heart. You can, and you will do it. Okay. It's your time. And that's what I say in that chapter. And basically what I'm trying to get people to understand in that chapter is overcoming your own fears and your own thoughts that hold you back. Because only sometimes, when that's why self-help is important, we hold our own self back from our own destiny. And then we out here blaming other people like, man, it's because of this. Oh, it's because of this happened. Oh, it's because I got pregnant. Oh, it's because of this guy. No, it's because of you. It's because of you. Yeah, you. You need to take control of your life. You need to create boundaries. You need to not be watching other people and pay attention to what you're supposed to be doing in your life. And I truly believe if you focus on your own self and bettering yourself, creating discipline and integrity and everything that I've been talking about, you will probably soar as an individual. And that's why, like I said, it's no competition. It's what God has for you is going to be right there. What the universe has for you, if you don't believe in God, it's all about sympathity. I don't even know how to say it. Don't quote me because I don't know how to pronounce a lot of stuff. But it's all about whatever you put out there. If you put out good things gonna manifest back to you. So all I'm saying, everything I'm saying, it comes together if you really listen to what I'm saying today. So the last book, see, I ain't even taking up a whole hour. The last book is called Discover Your Power, From Burdens to Blessings, right? This book was given to me by my mom. It was actually a gift to her. In this book, what I want to talk about, the last thing I want to talk about is seize God's timing, okay? Now, again, if you're not a religious person, timing is still everything. And so after everything that we've been talking about today on the show and just knowing life itself, no matter what you do, you can't rush the process. Nobody can rush it. It's going to happen whenever it wants to happen. The timing is the timing that it is, whether it's when you want that next promotion, when you want to graduate from college, when you want even marriage, whatever. Everything has a timing that is in place that you have to go through. And like college, it's 4 years. When it comes to getting married or it comes to getting that next promotion, you don't really know. You just got to trust the process and be the best version of yourself as you work towards those goals, right? In this chapter, she talks about, basically just waiting on the perfect timing of God for things to manifest. God has all things planned and he's in total control. He unfolds his plan even in the midst of poor decisions, poor choices, horrific tragedies in life. So perfect for right now, right? God has still shown himself in COVID. A lot of people came through COVID prosperous. Everybody, like I said in the beginning, everybody don't think that everybody's on or everybody can be put on a perfect life pedestal. We won't. You're going to have to go through the ups and downs. And it's just how you approach, like I said, starting off with emotional intelligence, each door is how you approach it and how healthy your life is going to be. But yes, timing is everything. It's the last thing I want to talk about is lining yourself up, knowing that what's going to happen, it's going to happen when it's going to happen. And just be patient. I don't know if it was in this book, but she talked about, it was one book that I read that talked about something happening when it's going to happen. Hold on 1 second. I tried to snap it up in here. So yeah, if I can't find it quickly, then I'm just gonna move on. Okay, yes, here it goes. So this goes with what I'm saying right now. It's called Like You Were Dying, right? It may sound morbid, but anytime you are tempted to give, and this is dealing with boundaries, but it's also, I'm tying it into God's perfect timing. Just live your life. Don't worry about what's going to happen next and just let the timing be what it is. But anytime, she said, don't be tempted to give away some of your precious time or to something that you don't want to do or something that don't feel good to you for whatever reason. Pause and think about how much actual time you have on this earth. She said, for example, if you love to go skiing and you're 40 years old and the estimated time for people to live is 80, 78, then that means you only have 38 more chances to go skiing, right? So basically, if you start thinking about, how much time you waste on things that don't matter or how much time you waste on trying to figure things out, you could be missing precious time to be doing something more productive with your life. So I hope that someone was helped. I hope that you enjoyed these books. Somebody else told me to recapture the book. So the first book was I Never Worry, with the author is Derek D.B. And this is about emotional intelligence, how to make decisions not based on your emotions, whether that's at work or in relationships. That book is awesome. Okay. Then the next book I did was Becoming a Superwoman. And it was basically, she talks a lot about a lot of stuff. It ain't even about just boundaries. Her chapters in her book, she talked about just how to not experience burnout, but balance. I'm a big person about balance, and how to, have everything working at the same time. The next book was A Woman Can Do That, 10 Strategies to Create Success in Your Life. This book, not just for women, the 40-Day Soul Fast, A Journey to Authentic Living. And this helps you, get out your own way. And some people always struggle with, finding their purpose in life. And this book can kind of help you open up the door to where you're trying to go in your life, right? So next book was I'm Pretty Too. And this is my work. Like I said, I authored this, but it's a workbook for young girls and women or ladies who have daughters. You can go through this workbook with them and help them to, upbuild themselves, their self-esteem, their self-worth. Actually, while I have the moment, this month I'm going to be releasing I'm Pretty Too program again. I'm going to be launching it again for July. So if you're looking for a program for your daughter to be in to help build her self-esteem and redefine how she sees herself, sign up for the program. I have some amazing staff and amazing people ready to pour into your daughter and to get her on the right track and make sure she stays on the right track with our mentoring and all kind of things like that. So look out for that. I'll put that link in on my page sometime today. A Pretty Dark Girl, Pretty for a Dark Girl. This is a great book. Again, it has great nuggets in it for people who are sometimes dealing with colorism. Okay. The next one was Crucial Conversations. Again, my job made us get this book, and we had a book club because that's how cold this book is. It really teaches you how to have conversations with leadership and day-to-day conversations with people that are kind of touchy, and you don't know how to say what you want to say. But when you start creating boundaries, you're gonna have to have some critical conversations. So this is a Crucial Conversations book. The next book was Best Self, Life Coach by Mike Bayer. Again, this is not the cover. I took the cover off because it kept messing up. But it's a great book. And inside of it, it has a lot of thought-provoking exercises that he have you take. I was trying to get to a page real quick, but I guess I can't. But here go on. Okay. So he kind of guides you through different things, like you said, behaviors that are not working for me and working in my educational life. So if you don't want to talk to someone like me that's a life coach, you can always, get a life coach book and basically mold your own life. Like, again, you are in charge. You are in charge. That's why self-help is so important. You are in charge of your own life. And then the last book is Discover the Power of Your Story, Burdens to Blessings. And it's a great book. Again, she talks about how to, get out your own way and allow life to unfold as God would have it to unfold, right? She has some very good nuggets and stories in here. So again, I have enjoyed everyone. If you guys want these books again and you don't feel like replaying the video to get them, you can always DM me and I will give you those book titles again. And again, I'm here every Tuesday at 7:30. You can follow me on Facebook and IG and get a notification. Oh, and YouTube, and get a notification when I'm having my next show. Next week, I'm going to be talking about the importance of self-care. I won't be by myself next week. I will have a guest. Her name is Miss Rita, and she is a founder of Just Be Beautiful. And she talks a lot about how to take care of yourself. And so, and I mean physically. We talked about mentally today. We'll probably tap on mentally again next week, but basically self-care, knowing the right way to take care of your body and your skin. So if you're interested in that, I will see you next week. But until then, thank you again for joining me and have a good evening. Bye-bye.